artists don't work with forms and colors. We work with meaning. We can employ forms and colors or not, or we can utilize really anything in the world to construct a work. That is, to construct meaning. So I thought it was very interesting that instead of, in the way perhaps of going to the art supply store and buying tubes of paint already made, I would take material from our intellectual history, from all those kinds of ideas which shaped our view of the world and our understanding of our existence. This is a much richer material as an artist to work with, if in fact you accept my premise that artists work with meaning, right? He changed very much the way we see ourselves and ourselves in the world. And it's ubiquitous, really, his influence. And so for me, I wanted to confront this and think about the body of the exegesis of Freud's work. And so I did works about that. It's not an exhibition in the normal way. It's really a big artwork of mine in which I use the works of other artists. And by doing it in the way I do, I take subjective responsibility for the surplus meaning of the combinations, showing that art historical practice does not do that. It's the idea of an art historian is that they're scientists, and they're invisible, and they're making an autobahn of masterpieces, and it's the voice, really, of authority, finally. So I felt that it would be really interesting for us to think about the nature of how we make exhibitions. So as an artist, I use as a kind of appropriated method a curatorial activity like this. And artists very much liked the works used that way because you see the difference between artworks. It's not being, they're not pawns in a view of authority, of masterpieces and on all of the culture that goes with that view of art. And in fact, it permits the viewer to really in a way experience how artists make art and how artists see art, because they see the play of the meaning-making process. It's about a process, that's the point. There's lots of issues now about representation. There's a French philosopher like Deleuze has talked about it at length. And there are a lot of issues that are important to artists, and it's not clear either. That's the point, it isn't clear. And there are lots of aspects that are clear, but I wanted to do a play of all these different considerations of the problem of representation. We have an historical burden of it. We have philosophical issues about its burden now, and it's about all of these things and their play between them. Yeah, I think that they have to understand that art was heading toward a point coming out of modernism and the end of modernism in the 60s. Thinkers like Clement Greenberg and the art he supported, where art was becoming a necktie for over the couch. It was becoming made banal and empty, with its meaning being given by the market. And so there's been a struggle between artists who want to protect art as a very important and meaningful thing in society, from it becoming reduced to being a trophy for billionaires. And there is a struggle that I think artists have to make against corporate culture, which reduces everything in a digital way to money. And that's the biggest crisis art has had to face in a long time, because the artists are the producers of meaning of their work, and they have to fight for that meaning and not let themselves end up becoming a form of advertising for the large companies. There's a role for everyone to play in supporting our culture, but it should be done in a very serious way and in a careful way.